is up, y'all, and welcome to Impromptu, the the show where we are talking to some theists or people who disagree with my point of view. All right. Sometimes agree. Never know how the conversation goes, but I'm going to do this real fast so that we get off Amy time and actually join this gentleman. Possibly going to have a talk about Islam, prophets, who knows. But I do want to thank everyone out there on the interwebs. Please don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe, because then once you do, you get to hit that bell icon to all and get fabulous free prizes. You don't? Oh, you just get to see our premieres and join our live streams. Woo! And sending love to all of the people who keep the lights on, all the people who send in super chats, all of our channel members with our evolving badge system, and, of course, the Patreons at patreon.com/Amy Newman. Thank you all for supporting us, me and my co-host, James W. We really appreciate it. Sending love to James out there. To everyone, the final shout outs, I just want to send love to people like Azo and Chris Disciple and Dale Pastel and Dave Garr and Rachel Holland and Rejos and Ian Davenport. Love you all, as well as everyone in chat. What is up? What's up, Moon Shoes and April Cox and Ron? What is up? God equals. What is up, everybody? I believe, let me check. Yes, this is. What's up, Taco? He said, come on to VC while I'm doing my normal, prophets don't exist check. So we'll see if he can prove that prophets do. But all right, I guess I'm going to get in there fast before he leaves. But send in love, y'all. Tag me, and I'll show your comment up on screen. And I'll keep on saying hi to everyone. Please also tell me if the sound is okay. Ooh, Taco says he's an interesting fellow. Not sure what we're going to get, but we'll find out.
Why it can be true?
Because it hasn't been revealed. Ihsan. Because we don't have that information. We have some information about God. You believe that you have loads, Ihsan. You believe that you have loads more information about God than I do, right? You believe you know loads of additional properties that God has. And you believe that because you start by believing that God has revealed these properties, telling an angel to tell a prophet about these additional properties. What I'm saying to you is, how do you know that revelation actually happened?
I mean, so if you want, okay. So if you need me to discuss about, like, okay, how do I know? Sure, I can talk about it. I can talk about it all day long.
That's why you're here. That's literally what you're doing, right? I'm asking you for your reasons for believing that Islam is true. All you've done so far is agree with me that God exists.
No.
Oh, it's a Christian.
Islam is true. Do you have any reasons for believing that Islam is true?
No, I've given you an argument. Like I've actually given you an argument.
You've simply said that the Kalam cosmological argument exists. You believe in the Kalam cosmological argument, just like I do. You say that your God is compatible. You say that your God is compatible with the necessary God that would come from that argument.
Listen. I've asked you about the classical philosophy. Yes, right. I've asked you about the classical philosophy because I didn't know the context. When you said that, okay, what's the reason?
You've known that for 10 minutes now. Move on. Why is Islam true? Not just why does God exist?
You just summoned me. You've oversimplified the entire thing. That's not what happened. So first of all, once again, when we do that, I'm gonna get to this point about, like, okay, how this is God of Islam, right? And I've already explained this once for you, right? And I'm gonna just go through this one more time, just very, very quickly. So first, the conversation started. You said, like, you are asking me, okay,
posted the conversation in chat. I posted the conversation in chat, so you don't need to repeat it. You can just get to the point.
Yeah. So like, don't pretend as if like, I said, okay, the kalam there for Allah. I didn't say that.
No.
I'm saying
I've posted everything that you said in chat.
So that's your
not
interpretation of what
misrepresenting
you
you.
said. Like, this is, once again, look, bro, you're being too simple-minded. I'm sorry. Anyway, maybe
An
final,
argument for Islam, mate.
Hold on. Can we kind of like skip that for a moment? Like, I wanted to discuss with Amy. In fact, I'm here because I wanted to discuss with her.
No, it's been
Amy, are you
enjoyable
there?
so far.
So you don't have any reasons to believe Islam is true then? Got it. Understood.
I've actually, okay. So once again, look, I actually have my own argument for why Islam is true, and I told you about this, right?
Why don't you make the reasons?
Okay. So once again, I'll just repeat what I'm saying. Like, for example, imagine this is the, like, that states that we're talking about. We talked about the first stage, the second stage, and now the third stage, at why this is Islam. So I'm giving you an independent argument, that like our ability to think, form judgments, and have higher thoughts, these things rely on prior knowledge. Okay, so they rely on prior knowledge and understanding, and the foundational knowledge can come from either natural sources or non-natural sources. So natural sources may include like humans, animal, objects, and non-natural source in some way, in a metaphorical sense, it's like, it could be natural selection, it could be random events, or God, right? A transcendent source. So when we examine the limits of the human knowledge and the nature of reality, it becomes very clear that somehow, like, there are actually a couple of more arguments here to unpack. How, there's a difficulty in reducing consciousness to physicality, and so on. But like, the foundational knowledge cannot, the source for this foundational knowledge and rationality, higher thoughts, metaphysics, and all that, it cannot be something of a non-natural source, of a natural source. So it needs to be a non-natural source. And so that, I was saying, like, in this aspect, like, there must be a non-natural source. That's the foundation for this kind of stuff. And that like, the most logical explanation of this is like a all-knowing, all-powerful, transcendent being, all that aspects of who God is. And the description of this source fits best with the Islamic concept. It aligns with the Islamic concept of gods. So that was the argument I give you, but you're like, it went right over your head.
I want to jump in.
I'm sorry.
Right. I've just written down your argument in chat. Do you agree that I've represented your argument accurately from what you've just said?
But I'm taking notes.
I wanted to have the conversation with Amy. Like, my phone is about to die. I'm sorry. Like, bro, like, okay, so deal with that argument, right? Give it to, like, I don't know what you can do, like, for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Here's my response. All you've done with that argument, done is at best you've proved.
Let's talk about your belief. So wait. So I've said so much.
There needs to be a God.
It's your turn. I'm going to ask you a question. You've asked me so many questions. You can't just control the flow of questions, right? So let me ask you some questions. You said you believe in God. So what is God like? What is God like to you?
You said that we don't know. Several times.
No.
I already told you.
So the logical entailment. What's the logical consequence of what you believe? This is the thing. So if you said God doesn't have attributes, that would be fundamentally logically flawed, right?
Say that.
So you can't just say, we don't know the thing, right? So you're confused. You're like conflating epistemology with ontology, right? Yeah. You're saying, okay, so there are certain things we cannot know because it hasn't been revealed. But then again,
why are you saying that? I've not made those arguments at all.
So you're saying, like, for example, when I asked you whether is your God a personal God, you said you don't know, right? So this is logically problematic. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, on a rational level, we can make this like, like, we can actually form arguments for why God must be who he is, right? That doesn't mean that we have to know the precise reality of who God is, right? This is like conflating epistemology with ontology. Once again. Anyway,
I'm the one that's saying we don't have to know all of God's properties.
No. So
should I unite them?
I'm not saying you should know all of God's properties.
Because there is no God.
I never said that. I'm asking you basic questions with that you can agree with.
Yeah, I've already answered your question.
That would be the definition of God.
What you've not done is you've still not answered why you believe that Islam is true, why God is revealed, and why Muhammad is a prophet. You've not answered any of those questions.
Well, it's the only true rational explanation, right? And you don't seem to want to.
Not true or rational?
Why? Because you
not true or rational.
There's logical problems, right? And once again, we were talking about this for too long.
What are the logical problems?
I can unite you guys if you want, because I don't believe prophets are real.
What's the logical problem with deism?
There are lots of problems, right? A God without attributes is no God at all. Right?
God has attributes. It's the attributes of being necessary, unconditional, creator. He has attributes. What is the logical problem with that?
I mean, this guy's a theist.
I want to have a chat with Amy, if that's okay.
Well, then go private. Go private. You're in a public room, so if you want to talk to somebody privately, go private. What are the logical
this is my view.
I mean, I'll just point out, Kalam doesn't get a God, and it can be manipulated in ways in which, it actually shows that God needs a cause.
I mean, so for example, we're talking about the conclusion of Kalam, right? So, for example, if you accept some of these classical philosophical arguments, such as the successive addition, causal finitism, so that would indicate that, there is
you make such a meal out of simple ideas. The conclusion of Kalam is simply that God exists and God has a limited number of properties. Those properties are necessary, creator, and uncaused. That's it. That's what you get from Kalam. Don't overcomplicate things.
No. Kalam, I mean, look, the first thing is, okay, so what Amy was saying, that this is like a generic God, it's like a, I'm not even sure, her point was this could mean that God needs a cause as well, right? So for example, if someone holds a strong PSR view, right? So they could argue that, okay, so therefore, because everything needs an explanation, right? Or something. So, yeah.
Yep. In fact, my modified version of Kalam is everything that exists needs a cause. They claim God exists, therefore God needs a cause.
Right. So that's not
Kalam, though.
Yeah.
Sure, because Kalam includes the words "begin to exist," and I believe the words "begin to exist" is shady and doesn't exist in physics.
That's not an afterthought. That's fundamental to Kalam. That is Kalam.
Sure, but that's why we shouldn't use Kalam. Why it's a bad argument. Things don't begin to exist. People don't use that in physics. Yeah. It's philosophy language, and that's why theologians use Kalam. But it's not a good argument. It doesn't prove a God, and it doesn't prove, as he was saying, it doesn't prove a specific God either. It doesn't get you to Christianity, Islam, any of these other religions.
Yeah, so what I was gonna say is that, my point to what you were saying was that, if we accept the conclusions, right, some of the conclusions of this argument, what it does is that, it shows that there is an eternal cause, right? So, for example, if you accept that contingent things require a necessary being,
let's just call it God. Can we not call it eternal cause? Just call it God.
Sorry, wait. So you please don't talk over me. I'm gonna just explain something to Amy, and I don't like to repeat myself, so I'm gonna have to mute you for a while. I'm sorry. You keep talking over me every single time, right? So what I was going to say is if we accept that conclusion, right? So then what it means that that contingent beings ultimately have a beginning in time, right? And a beginning in creation. So they didn't always exist, right? So there is a beginning in time, right? And there was a beginning. So you'd have an eternal necessary being, which is the cause. And so you have a eternal cause, but the effect which is the creation of the cause of contingent beings, is temporal. So if the eternal cause did not choose to create, then the eternal cause would have always created, which means that the effect would also be eternal. And so, like, the fact that effect is not eternal, then that indicates a will, and like a decision to make. So this is kind of like an proof like a god. It only proves there is eternal cause. Yeah, and so Amy, my phone is about to die. I'm sorry. Like, we have to kind of
really
maybe if we can discuss another time, it will be so great. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm like really sorry. I wanted to have this conversation, but I've been like traveling, so yeah.
All right, I feel bad. I have.
Is that okay?
I was ready to talk about all sorts of fun subjects, but I understand life too.
Yeah. So maybe if you can give me like an hour or so, I'm like on the way, right? I'm still on the way. So when I go back home, I can talk.
All right.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Can you do it? Like,
I'm.
maybe
What's it called? I'm live streaming right now, so I feel bad for the people, but that's okay. I'll just do some sort of rain check, and next time I'll push harder through the other theist. I thought it was amusing for a little bit, but okay. I guess in an hour.
I'll DM you, inshallah. May God willing. Okay. Thanks for the chat, I guess. Yeah.
Warrior, you're not a Muslim, are you?
Fortunately not. No.
Oh, I started a stream for this. I feel bad for my viewers, but I guess I can always give them a rain check.
I don't think you have enough viewers to worry about that.
Oh, well, I mean, it doesn't matter how many viewers. You should still be consistent. Give content.
I mean, what's the content to be had?
Well, I'm a counter-apologist. I tend to do it through a comedic lens, but the goal is to help people leave religion.
And why do you want people to leave religion exactly?
Because it's better for society. We don't want theism. Theism is a form of superstition. It's this sort of outdated technology we used to use. It shows how human we are because of it's almost like a false positive. It's us taking consciousness and kind of anthropomorphizing it into like this other thing. But we are their creators. And so this is something that should be seen in a historical context. People used to believe in religion. That's what we want to get to.
And what's wrong with believing in said religion?
Oh, well, what's wrong with believing in superstitions would be the better thing. And we shouldn't believe in superstitions like religion because they're not true. These are creations of humans. And, it would be very weird if our creation created us. And so it's kind of putting the cart before the horse, if you understand.
Well, in what regard is God under our creation?
Well, we created them. We created the Jewish God, the Christian God, the Muslim God, the Hindu gods. They all were made from humans.
We didn't create any god. We theorized said gods, but that doesn't mean...
I don't think that's the right word of using theory, but I think this more created. More like the same way we created Harry Potter. Do you think we theorized Harry Potter?
Well, you did theorize, and then you put it into literature, and you put it into a movie.
I would say you thought about it, and you used your mental states and emotions, and then you created characters, just like we created God, and thus, we get these systems.
Sure, but Harry Potter isn't meant to be a real story, or isn't meant to be a real conclusion.
Sure, but that doesn't make it any different.
It can be a theory.
Yeah, but Judaism was still made by humans. Adam and Eve is still a fairy tale. There was no talking snake. And any religion that is based off Adam and Eve would be a fairy tale. right? The rib woman.
I mean, you can claim that, but to what degree does it harm society if certain factors of religion benefit society?
Sure, all of those benefits.
Would it not be better to believe in, quote, fairy tale if it benefits society in the long run?
No, I don't think believing in falsities just because they might help us in the short run is a good idea. So, for example, it is true. It is true that people believe in a heaven, but heaven is not true. It gives us, these warm, nice feelings because humans die, and we don't like that we die, and it's one of the major fears that we have. So it's nice to just be like, what if all the good people went to the special happy place? But that's not real. We shouldn't, at a certain age.
Because heaven doesn't exist.
Exactly. At a certain age, we need to tell people, the truth. And I think that even if it makes more people sad, I would rather believe the truth than just tell myself a nice fantasy.
I mean, that's fair, but why do you think you know for a fact there is no God?
I would say I know for 99.99% sure, because we can't know anything for 100% certainty. But all of the evidence so far is that all of the gods, all of these deities that were created on Earth are not real. Like, they're real in the fact that we made them, but...
So what is
there's nothing that points to that.
So what is your stance on, let's say, deism, which doesn't have a particular theorized God? It's just God itself.
Sure. And, as soon as they have evidence for showing that deistic God exists, I would love to believe it. But the problem is that so far, all creators are animals. There's no non-animal creator. And so a deistic God would be the first of its kind. It'd be the first creator, non-animal. And I would need a lot of evidence for that.
Now, what about evidence that he doesn't exist? You have that.
I would say I have modified arguments. It's just that all of the evidence that we have goes in the opposite direction, and thus that's where I'm going to leave.
The reality.
So you don't know if he does or doesn't exist.
The
basically.
reality is,
I would say for 1.1% sure. Sorry, go.
You put your faith in the fact that the absence of evidence for a God is evidence that there is no God, and that's still faith in that regard.
Sure, but I will say, I like that you're using faith in a negative connotation. I think you should continue to do that. But no, absence of evidence is evidence of absence when we expect there to be evidence. Faith is not a good thing, though. No one should have faith, except for, locally, you're saying I have faith in you, but you're really just saying I have hope in you. I hope that you do the right thing.
So you have hope that your
hope and faith are basically synonymous.
We have different words for a reason.
That there's no God, and you.
Well, no. I would say I know there is no God, and so that's different
based
than
on
hoping.
What evidence?
Based on the fact that all of our gods so far have been created by humans, based on the fact that all creators so far have been animals. It would be a dramatic part from everything we know about all of biology, chemistry, and physics. But besides that, nothing.
So,
do you have anything for a god?
No, and that's why I have faith in a deist God which doesn't intervene in the world. It's what I claim. Why would you believe in something that
doesn't have evidence?
The same reason why you believe in something that doesn't have proof against said deity.
Well, do you have any creators that are non-animal, like just a single one?
No, but even if there wasn't that thing, which is true, that wouldn't disprove God. I think that would lie more into. I think that would lie into the fallacy of nature. So if you don't find something in nature, means it's immoral or not true or wrong.
No,
that's a falsehood and a.
Sure, fallacy. That's also not true. Let's start with the fact that open heart surgery is artificial and not natural, and it's good. So let's just throw that point aside and give me a different one.
Yeah, and that's what you're. That's not
what I'm saying. God's not bad because it's artificial. There's good gods that are made by us.
Well, your point is, we don't see anything like God in nature. Therefore, God.
We don't see any other creators at all ever in the universe. The only creators that we see are animals, and you have no other examples, and so I don't know why you're claiming that it can happen.
The example is in front of you.
The example of what?
You're the example.
I'm the example that sex naturally forms humans.
No. You are the example. You're the offspring.
Exactly. Of biology and evolution and stuff. Exactly.
No. You're the offspring of nothingness.
Of nothing. I'm not even sure a true nothingness exists, so I'm going to need evidence that a nothing can exist.
Where did you come from?
Our parents. You don't know how sex works?
Where did your parents come from?
They came from a long line of other primates, and we can go down the entire evolutionary chain if you'd like. I guess you want to talk about abiogenesis if you want to skip.
Was there a first human, or were there two first humans? Like, how does that work?
Populations of first humans. So 100,000 to 200,000 years ago, a group would we call Homo sapiens, but that's a little bit different than Neanderthals, who are very similar to us and even bred with us.
Right, and all of that comes from...
Every single non-African or non-Horns of Africa population has at least 1 to 2% Neanderthal. So yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. You know, all of that comes from animals, you would say, right?
Yeah, I would say we are an animal, but yes.
Yeah, where did the first animal come from?
So we as animals are a reaction to plants dominating the world. So plants or these sort of bacteria that were photosynthetic were one of the first multicellular organisms and one of the ones that dominated the world. It's why our Earth is green. And thus, there were only 2 niches left. Those 2 niches were fungi. Fungi inject their stomach acid onto things, and we're the opposite. We're called animals. Animals walk, and they put food sources into their body, the opposite of fungi.
So from your perspective, we were bacteria?
We're trillions of bacteria kind of super glued together. That's what a multicellular organism is, yes.
Sure, but we were bacteria, like before humans were human.
2 billion years ago, yes, the populations were all bacteria because they did not have the first mitochondrial event.
Did the bacteria always exist, or did they start existing at some point?
No, they existed about 4.5 billion years ago, about very early on in Earth's early Earth, about the same age.
Okay, and how do you know that?
Because that's where all the evidence comes from. We have evidence of fossil life living at waterbeds. We have different strata showing various different levels of organisms. We also have genetics, which we can just compare.
No, I'm not asking where do you get the evidence that you have this amount of old bacteria.
Yeah, we can look back in the historical record and see bacteria that have been fossilized, and there are no multicellular organisms under a specific level of strata.
So at some point, bacteria started to exist, and this is after the Big Bang, correct?
It was way after. In fact, life can't exist until like a term 2 star. So like the heavier elements aren't formed in the Big Bang. It's just hydrogen, helium, a little bit of lithium. You actually have to have stars. Hydrogen pull itself together, live out their entire life system. And then when they explode within the supernova, these explosions create the vast majority of the higher order of elements. Those higher order of elements are thrown throughout the galaxy. And what it does is it forms new solar systems. These new solar systems have much heavier rocks. They have things like carbon. Carbon is a fantastic way to make chemical combinations.
How do you then think that bacteria came from these things?
Sure, it got on early life when you have things like energy being poured in, either lightning, you have early thermal vents that are pumping lots of energy. It's this with a water. So most planets do not have liquid water, and so liquid water is a natural solvent. It allows things to mix back and forth. The fact that there's carbon, such this element that's able to make so many different chemical combinations, a liquid solvent, and then a planet that is within the zone around the sun in which it's not on fire or freezing, means that life had a great chance. There's good reasons. We didn't form on an ice planet, a fire planet. We formed on a planet with higher heavy elements in liquid water in a temperature that would destroy it. Mm-hmm.
Can you describe what is necessary in order for the first bacteria to appear on Earth?
Yeah, it seems carbon, water, and energy.
And how did they form, the bacteria? Like from carbon and energy and all of that?
Well,
how did they
have
form?
hypotheses like RNA World and others in which self-replicating molecules. We already know that crystals and other things have self-replicating properties, and so all you need to do is have something like a early RNA start to self-replicate, and you would have a runaway command, and evolution would naturally just start to take into effect.
Yeah,
hey,
where does that
RNA? Can I just ask you? Because I've been asking a few questions. How did God make life?
How did God make life?
Mm-hmm.
He willed it to, and it became.
He just willed it? Okay, if I were to tell you that Earth just willed life, would you accept it?
No, because Earth doesn't have a mind.
Okay, how did he will it into existence? We still have to have sex. I'm still trying to figure out how he just went, I really want life. I really want life. And it just poofed. Like, is that how that happened?
So he created. Are you asking about the first person? Like how he created Adam?
Oh, I mean, either one. I will explain, unfortunately, that the logistics always seem to destroy religion. They have no ability to explain any of the mechanisms within the universe. And they, weirdly enough, the theists want very dedicated, thorough, sophisticated mechanisms, which science is, weirdly enough, able to give. How did God make the first organism, Adam?
The thing is, you're shooting yourself in the foot.
I am?
With all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Tell me how. As well as tell me how he formed a first molecule or the first living organism.
Neither can you make logic out of the idea that God can create. Neither can you make logic out of that we can exist.
I don't think that your God creates. I think that your God is physically incapable of creating. I just want to know how you think he did it.
Well, I just told you.
You said he willed it. I think, no offense, I feel like unless you have some other reason or something else, I think that's silly. I'm using a different S word.
Okay. I don't care about how you think about it. I think that this is how it is.
Okay, well,
and if you have reason to doubt that, you can tell me why.
Okay, I don't think that you can will something into existence. You haven't shown me how. And so to me, you're just saying that God just really dreamed it into existence. That's the model that you just gave me up against everything that I just tried to explain scientifically.
Scientifically?
Yes.
I can tell you that I don't believe that you have a strong understanding of science.
Well, I mean, you're the person that thinks you can will things into existence, so I'm not sure I trust your understanding of science.
Yeah, I'm the person who says that you can't make sense of both.
You can't make sense of both?
Yeah, neither can you make sense out of scientifically.
No.
What's happening
Evolution,
in the world.
We know. It's
you
both
can't even
a
make
theory
sense.
and a fact.
You can't even make sense out of evolution. That's the thing.
Okay.
And I believe in evolution. But you can't make sense of it. The same way that you can't explain time.
Believe in evolution?
Can you explain a simple thing like a clock? Are you capable of that?
Yeah. We want representations of time.
No, you're not.
And so what we did is we took the rotations that we go around with the Earth, our 24 hours, we broke it up into units, and we created ways in which we can visually see it.
Perfect. And the deeper I go with my questions, eventually it'll run out of answers. Right?
I mean, sure, but I would say
sure,
that
exactly.
my
That's the
difference
point.
is we can answer a vast amount about the universe, and you could just say God did it. And if I ask you how God did it, you just say in a fancier way, well, he just did it.
In a fancier way? You see, there's nothing fancy in your explanation. Rather, it's illogical.
It's illogical.
Your science is illogical.
It's illogical, and you believe it, right? You just said that you believe in evolution.
I believe it.
And
I told you from the start.
You believe in
I just told you from the start,
right?
I told you cannot make sense out of both. You cannot even explain a clock properly.
But I can explain a clock. A clock is not that hard to
No,
explain.
You can't.
A clock is a creation. Go ahead. It was made by a human. We have analog, digital
explain
clocks.
how a clock works.
No offense, but like I'm as a teacher who teaches who teaches second graders how to look at a clock and read time. You don't think that's a hard thing to explain? We've been creating clocks since sundials.
Look what you're doing. Look right now. You say to me, explain how God creates. I say to you, he willed it. Then you see this as a surface level explanation with an extreme lack of details behind it.
Okay,
therefore, you count it as silly.
Yes.
Then I look at science and I see it the same way you see my explanation of how he creates. I think it's silly. The same way you think that God creates, I think everything is silly. Because everything that we see on the surface level does not explain in the deeper level that I desire it to be. Nothing can be made sense out of on a deeper level. When I went to study the atoms and I looked at the relationships and how energy can become and all of that. None of this
stuff
are you
trying to explain?
None of that. Can you explain movement? How does movement occur?
Movement. We have muscles. They're literally muscle systems that
that's surface level. That's surface level.
What do you
that's
mean?
The same thing as me saying God can will things. He has a mind. He has a mind. That's the same thing.
There is a reason for why we are a moving organism. There is a reason for why plants don't need muscles. Do you understand why plants don't need muscles?
You know how people think? They use their heads.
Yes.
Right? That is extremely surface level explained. That is nothing. That's a child's game.
It's really
right? That doesn't explain anything.
It is really the actual explanation. They use their brains. They have a physical brain made of neurons that creates a neural network, an operating system that we call the mind.
And what's the consciousness?
Consciousness is a system of awareness where we're pulling things in when we're able to actually be on.
Can a computer be conscious?
We don't think that computers are currently conscious. I don't know if we could make a conscious computer. Right now, we have artificial intelligence.
Know. Something so simple. See, that's what I'm talking about.
I don't know is the right answer when you don't know something. I don't know what the was. Do you?
That's my point.
Wait.
That's my point. The same way.
All right. Can a computer be conscious?
The same way you cannot explain how movement occurs.
But we can't explain movement. They're not the same. We know a lot about consciousness. It's not in a void.
The only thing you can explain about movement is by telling me your experiences with it, your observations of it.
Okay, someone
how people move, your eyesight,
is going to say
without using observations, right? Or that your senses. Can you explain movement?
Yes. Again, we can prove to blind people that sight is real. We can prove to deaf people that hearing is a function. It actually makes sound waves that hit off things. Our ears are just picking them up.
Okay, how do you explain to people what something sounds like or how something looks like? That doesn't make sense.
It's very hard. I imagine it's very difficult to explain to
It's
a blind
impossible
person who has truly
what color is
never seen
what
it.
color is.
Yes, now you're coming up to thought experiments, like Mary's room and all of this.
Crazy.
But again, it's much different than movement. By the way, movement, very hard to artificially create. We're doing better. We have, I'm trying to remember that specific company that's fantastic at it. But there was very jerky. Human movement is actually something an animal does with ease, and that we're learning how to artificially do.
Yeah, animals.
Bro, look, AI is going to take your job, bro. Stop crying, stop bitching. It's your fault for not having more education or specialized work, bro.
Yeah, wait.
I'm not worried about AI.
I'm not worried about AI.
I also don't need more specialized education. I have enough degrees.
You have
PhD? You have PhD?
I don't. I have 2 masters though. I'm working on my PhD.
Why do you have so much why do you have 2 masters? Are you trying to is your income high enough?
Also, I like how you started this. Why is your argument completely different when you started? Do I need more or less education?
Because you're autistic. Are you
I'm not autistic.
Wait, are you
I am a second.
Are you a transgender? Are you a transgender?
Come on.
No. You're just reaching now. See,
you're mentally ill, nigga. You're mentally ill, nigga.
You don't know what mental illness is.
You're transgender. You're transgender. You're mentally ill.
I don't know if I have. Whatever.
Okay, so in my observation, when I was trying to understand science, right, I come to the conclusion that I can't prove anything. That was my conclusion. That includes my perspectives about religion, right?
Can I pause
so the
you
deeper
on that?
I went,
because
go ahead.
And I know I'm being pedantic, and I'm going to explain it to you. I'm not going to blame you. Generally, in the debate community, we like to point out prove generally is a math term. I know lay terms, we use it. But I think that within the terms of scientific evidence, we can show many things exist. We know gravity is real. We know evolution is true. We can show not only what is true, I believe science is the best, if not only, methodology we currently have for discerning fact from fiction.
Yeah, that's not based on objective evidence.
You mean it's based on evidence.
It's based on evidence, but not objective evidence. That's what I meant by proving.
I would say that actually it can be objective. It can be subjective. I get hesitant when we go into the realm of objectivity and subjectivity with theists, because I believe that their God is a subjective God, and you guys believe it's an objective God. And so we probably would talk past each other there.
Okay. Yeah, I just you heard my perspective. I told you when I looked into science, this is what I got, right?
How did you get that
is
from
that
science?
You can't prove anything.
How did you get that from science?
Because I asked myself, how do you get evidence? How do you get evidence for this? How do you get evidence for that?
You go
and
out
the way
and
that
do
you get
research.
As long as we save in Israel, that's right.
And all of that research is never going to be objective evidence. It's always going to be subjective evidence, number one. And number two,
it's not. It's not always going to be subjective evidence. When you go out and record what the temperature is, it's not subjective. It is an objective number.
It is subjective.
Hello?
It's subjective because we subjects observe the objective.
Hello?
That's why it's subjective.
No, but it's an objective number. It either is 76 degrees out or it isn't. I'm doing Fahrenheit, but
yeah. So the thing is, look. If I take a scale and I put it in front of you, right? And I put on 1 kilogram of feathers, right? And I put 1 kilogram of feathers where I am right now. Do you think that would be the same weight?
Well, you have a different environment.
Oh my God.
Are you trying to?
Oh my God, this is actually funny. This is very funny.
Yeah, you should be. If you're 66 pounds here, and the scale
I said 1 pound of feathers. I said.
Yeah, a pound of feathers should be a pound of feathers.
1 pound of feathers here, 1 pound of feathers where you are.
Is that the same weight? Like a dropping thing, like a gravity. So we used to.
No.
Oh my God! It's a very simple question. You got feather on both sides. They at the same
Is it the same weight or not?
Yes,
is it the same weight or not? Is it the same weight?
What do you think?
It's like
Since
yes or
I've
no.
answered it 3 or 4 times now, what do you think?
I don't think it's the same
God!
weight.
Just say the answer, Amy. Say
It
it
cannot
again.
be the same.
Why can't it be the same?
Because
that's because we
other factor. There is the wind, there's the outer. It is going to influence what is more heavy.
No, you're saying that there's a chance it could. It should be.
No, it absolutely
1 pound.
is,
If it
because
is
there's
1
always
pound,
going to be things in
if
the.
it
No, there's
weighs
gonna
1
be.
pound, then
You're
it
not
is 1
listening.
pound.
There is nothing in the universe that is an absolute vacuum. That is going to be the air.
I don't believe in absolute certainty. I believe in things to 99.9% certainty.
That's subjective, brother.
Again,
it is going to be a different
God
weight.
Is a subjective thing. We in science do objective and subjective gatherings.
Did I not mention that I transfer my understanding of subjectivity and objectivity and evidence to religion as well?
Well, then I don't understand
Did
why
that
you
fly over
believe
your
in a
head?
God. Yeah, why would you believe in a
that,
God
did
then?
that fly
There's
over
no
your head?
evidence. It
Did
did. It didn't make any sense.
Like, do I need to repeat myself? I mean, your teacher got
go
2 masters.
slower if you want. I mean, it didn't make sense. So if you could repeat it.
Okay, 1 pound of feathers here, 1 pound of feathers where you are at. We know that gravity is affected differently in different places, right?
Oh, I did not think of that.
We do, but generally speaking, on the Earth, it's going to be the same, unless you're now changing elevations.
No, it's not going to be the same. If I have a kilogram of gold and I transfer it to where you are, there's going to be a different amount.
Oh my God, is that actually true?
Yes, it is. Because that's literally how gravity works. What do you think, bro? What do you think? If you're on Mount Everest, right, and you got a kilogram of gold, and then you put it at a place that's the shortest to Earth, closest to the center.
You're changing the factors of it. I don't understand. You're now trying to say that it's not objective. When you go out and you measure and you say it is 76 in Boston or whatever, it is 76. It is objective. There is no subjectivity to it.
No. It's different based on where you measure it.
No, but this is the thing.
Yes,
the
temperature is indeed different.
If we have 1 kilogram feather, and 1 kilogram feather the other place, if they both weigh 1 kilogram, the gravity is the same. Even because they both weigh 1 kilogram.
Because your scale doesn't measure gravity.
Are you serious? I thought
it
did. I thought,
it has relevance, but it doesn't measure the gravity, how close we are to the center, and all of that. And
you're telling me something can weigh more, even if it is the same weight as the other thing.
Yeah, because it weighs, like, you can say it weighs the same, but if I put I just told you, like, if I bring my 1 kilogram of steel or gold and I bring it to your place, it's going to be a different number.
Does its mass
change?
But
I thought it would be a different weight then.
Because it'd be impacted by gravity. Weight can change depending on gravity. Does the mass change?
It makes sense.
Does the mass change?
I don't know about that.
It doesn't.
How do you know that?
Gravity is going to be because it's a physical fact.
Yeah, if you are in a different location and a different place, there could be other factors.
It could be a different weight based on gravity, just like we could be heavier or lighter on the moon. That doesn't change our mass. You can't just be thinner by going to a higher place or a different planet.
You know what have you ever heard of dark matter before?
I have. It is the thing at the center of galaxies that we believe is creating the vast majority of galaxies.
Oh my God!
It's an unknown force.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
So do you agree with science that, or some science, that there are unknown forces in this world?
Yeah. Wait, is dark matter purple?
Well, I mean, powerful as in it's helping. It seems
because in Call of Duty, you got the dark matter camo. Okay. It is purple.
All right, bro. Okay, bro. No, so like, do you agree or disagree that we have unknown forces in this world?
Absolutely. We do not know why gravity works as it does. What influences gravity to work how it does?
Or at
What
least
caused the universe to start? We didn't even know if it started or if it is infinite.
But we understand Newtonian physics and general and special relativity, but we don't know why gravity is force.
It's all a guess. We don't actually know.
We only have a limited understanding of it, by the way.
Yes, we are predicting with high certainty, but we still don't know anything.
Well, we do know things.
All we know is that we are experiencing something at this current moment.
We do know general special relativity and Newtonian. We cannot tie the big with the small. The thing that we do not understand right now is how something giant that would be put under general relativity, like the entire universe, would function on a macro scale, which would be governed by quantum mechanics. That's weird, putting those two things together. We don't understand that.
Right, but you still didn't answer my question. Do you believe there are unknown forces in this world?
Yes.
Okay, good. So that's the reason why when someone asks me, would it be the same? I would say, I don't know, because I don't know all the variables that are present in reality. If I knew all the variables present in programming, and we're programming something, and I knew each line in depth about how it functions and everything correctly, we just made something simple, I would say, yeah, I know, like...
Wait, Trinity, I thought you were smart, but it says you are Muslim.
Okay, bro. Is that the topic now?
I don't understand what is going on here.
And I don't know. See, as an atheist, I view all the theist groups the same. It amuses me when you guys insult each other, but I don't know.
Perfect.
No, but this was a serious question. Is dark matter purple? Because why is it purple?
Oh my God! I'm not gonna
make it purple and not black.
I can't tell if you're joking or not. But dark matter and
no,
dark
I'm actually
energy
being serious.
Not, okay.
Why?
You
no,
can't
listen. Why in Call of Duty would they design the camo to be purple and not black?
Buddy, calm down. And these aren't my explanations. People way smarter than me had come up with this. But dark matter and dark energy
look in the side chat. Why did they design it purple and not black?
They're not purple. They do not have a visible spectrum of light. That is why they're called dark. They're still there.
Okay, so it would be black then, because everything you see that doesn't have color is black.
That is how our human brains interpret it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. When we see dark matter, we just see black.
But you understand, like a black hole isn't black. It's black because light.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's not actually black, but we see it as black, right?
Okay, but dark matter
that's what
dark
I mean.
Energy have no color.
That's what I mean. Everything that doesn't have color, we see as black.
What is the color of translucence?
No, you're not listening.
It was a nice conversation. It was a nice.
It was. I'm sorry.
It was a nice
conversation. Trinity versus Double. It was a good talking with you.
Yeah, it was a good talk. It was a really good talk. I liked it.
I love you, Amy. Amy, you are a baddie.
Thank you.
Okay, brother.
You are a baddie.
Thank you, I think.
Yes.
This is the most retarded conversation I've ever heard, by the way.
Ableist language. I enjoyed the back and forth. But,
yeah, I very much enjoyed this. Okay.
I am coming up on an hour, so I probably should leave in the next
oh my
5
god,
minutes.
this is fucking hilarious. Holy shit. Oh my god.
Okay.
Yeah. There's actually people that talk like that. Oh my god.
I can't.
Yeah, so you were trolling the whole time? Okay, perfect.
There's actually people that talk like that, and a lot of them are like Muslim and shit. No, but I was kind of like curious though. Why in Call of Duty would they make the dark matter camo purple? Wouldn't it make sense to just make it all black?
You fucking idiot.
Huh?
It's a video game. You fucking idiot.
Yeah, I know that. So they weren't taking it seriously, but I was just wondering why they didn't chose purple to represent
because we
dark
often choose, I would say culturally, black and purple are probably, what we kind of, when we say dark, these are the colors.
Yeah. Why did they make it purple though and not like blue or something?
It's
or
arbitrary.
Red?
Like I really did think he gave a good explanation. Like humans, so dark energy, the opposite of dark, well, kind of the opposite of dark matter. Dark energy is making everything move in opposite directions of everything else at all times, and yet, we cannot see it.
Wait, so dark matter is different to dark energy. So would we both see them as black?
That's a joke. I feel like I've said enough where you actually know that's a joke.
Because if something's energy, wouldn't that energy? Because color is what we see when we look at energy, we see color, right? So if we're looking at dark energy, wouldn't we see?
Wait, can I ask
a
you
color?
a very serious question? It's called dark matter and dark energy. So do you think that both of them are tall, dark, and handsome? Could be.
But dark energy means it's energy means that it's light, right? So
I half a second color, right? I threw him off his game. Oh, I'm sorry. What did you say?
Electromagnetic spectrum, the electro energy, like electromagnetic energy.
Yes, that is the visible spectrum of light.
Yeah, so color is just what we see visually of energy, right?
Yep.
So wouldn't dark energy, we would see that as like a color, right?
No. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but there are actually animals that have better eyes than us, and hypothetically, they can see farther ranges of color than we can.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, but that's still, we don't actually know that 100%. It's just like a prediction. Like we assume that because of what's in their brain or whatever, but we can't like confirm that. We're not there. We're not them. Like we're not them. You know. They might see red as green, like qualia wise. Like we're not sure. Like they might see like the lower nanometers, like they might see like the colors that are higher in nanometers, like red. How we see red, they might see that as like green, or they might see it as like a completely different qualia that we can't even imagine.
But do you notice how the serious tone that you're taking now, in contrast to why they make it purple? It's like, but you know the answer. We can't visualize it. As I squeak, we can't visualize it. So this is the artistic representation of it.
Technically, you could. I think you could hypothetically be conscious of an infinite amount of qualia at the same time.
Consciousness of an infinite amount of quality. We're almost going back to a God notion. Part of the reason that I have with my problem with a God is my notion of consciousness. We tend to move in a very linear fashion through time, and so I question what the notion of a being who is all places at all time would even experience. I don't even know what that would mean to be experiencing.
But what if they don't experience? What if they just are that thing?
Oh, they may be a different God.
What if it's only humans and animals that experience ourselves? So we are that same God, but we're just the observers of like we're just experiencing ourselves.
Well, I do think that God is a version of us. I think it stems from
so basically there's God, right? And that's like the universe. And then we are parts of God that are experiencing ourselves, which is the universe, which is God.
But what is adding the label God? What does that do than just saying universe? We are the universe experience itself, yes.
Yeah.
I don't get too hippy-dippy because I know that sometimes there's people that say, well, then the universe is conscious. I don't think the universe is conscious and things like that. But yeah.
Yeah, that just wouldn't logically follow. That wouldn't be necessary.
But we are indeed.
It might be possible that there's other things that are conscious that are outside of like humans and animals, of course, but it wouldn't be necessary for that to be true.
Sure. I even think I'm convinced that aliens exist. I don't think they ever visited us. I think they're very far away, but I see no reason why they wouldn't exist just because of the way in which we formed. You just need, again, carbon, water around the circumstellar habitable zone, maybe even silicone. Silicone is there's second best.
Yeah, if aliens were real, I think they just don't. They are just. I think the highest level of the highest. If you were an alien, the most advanced you could be is just becoming the universe itself. I think something along those lines. So maybe that we just the aliens are here right now. We just don't see them because they're literally they are everything. They are us, and they are what we see. They've actually become everything.
I appreciate that mentality, but I don't know. I think that
if you were an alien and you were idolizing the most advanced you could be, and if you had
See,
wouldn't you want to?
You're already imagining the aliens are more advanced than we are. I imagine aliens.
No, I'm saying hypothetically
You're a
if they were.
transgender
I'm not saying
creature.
they
You're
are.
an alien.
I am not. I don't get.
You are an alien. You're not natural to this earth.
Wait,
You
how
had
do
to
you know you're not
change
an
your
alien?
body.
How would you know that you're not an alien?
Let me say this for real quick, Saturn, because I know that I don't get why identity politics drags you guys down so much. Like it used to be that was our thing. Nothing. He's coming in here to call me a tranny, and you don't want to talk about any other subject because you're a tranny, and I don't know.
Are you not transsexual?
I am, but isn't there more to
Does it really matter to the conversation?
So let me give you an example.
Does it really matter what gender you are?
Wait. Okay, understand my perspective, right? So, let's say you walk into a mental hospital full of crazy people, and you try to talk to an insane person and try to make them sane or have a sane conversation with them. Do you think that's gonna go anywhere? Do you think that will go anywhere?
100%. I think it would actually go further.
So mental illness, very specifically, has to do with your ability to function in life. It doesn't mean you're crazy, as you were saying. It means that there's something within your life that is impeding your ability to function. I am not mentally ill. You're using an academic medical jargon term as an insult.
Look, mental illness, also called mental health disorders, refer to a wide range of mental health conditions, disorders that affect your mood, thinking, and behavior. Right? This means that you had, because of the disorder that you have, was affecting your ability to think and your behaviors that led you to do the procedures that you've done, or to change the way you are and the way you think of yourself.
Sure. Can I give you a different reason?
So there's like parts of a person. Some parts might be a bit like fucked up. Some parts might be just like normal, like rational.
But no, it's just that I felt feminine, and that's the bucket that I want to identify in society.
Yeah, you have a chemical disorder in your brain, a chemical imbalance.
No.
Wait, but I am actually.
I don't have gender dysphoria anymore.
You just felt feminine. What about Amy? If Amy took testosterone, would you still feel feminine if you took testosterone?
I would feel feminine, but I would the effects that would be happening from the testosterone would be causing me distress.
But how do you know that you would be feeling feminine? You might actually feel masculine if you took testosterone for long enough.
I lived with just having testosterone in my system and nothing.
But what if you took more than what you would naturally had? Because there's a lot of people that like guys who would just have testosterone, and they started taking more, and they actually felt like
a deficiency in.
Again, Saturn, the example I gave, you're discussing with a mentally ill person. It's not going to go anywhere.
It has been there.
Shouldn't you be basing like the content on what like Amy is saying, rather than, for example, like a mental illness or some sort of like prerequisite? Like plenty of people have depression, but it doesn't stop them from being able to debate a topic, right? Or bipolar or anything along these
topic. But that label is always going to be attached, and that's like a red flag automatically.
I'm proud of being transgender. But
many people have red flags, but it doesn't stop the content of which you're debating, right? Like we already know, but you don't need to keep bringing it up is the issue. Like anybody that is like fully aware of
Emmy, what made you this way? What made you this way? When did you find out? When did you come to the conclusion that you wanted to transition?
She said because
don't answer this, because this is derailing the content and making you reveal private information about yourself just so that he has an ability to be able to.
Why are the British all the British are so empathetic? They have so much empathy for the creatures.
Because unfortunately, right, there are people out there like yourself that do not care about other people.
Is that why your country is full of Pakis and Muslims and why you have so much crime?
Racism comes out. Are you a Christian?
I don't think being empathetic is a bad thing, right? And anybody that, for example, wants respect for others,
respect is earned, not given. Respect is earned, not given. That's the difference between Americans and the British.
But you're the person saying
there's literally many examples in the American system where the respect is gained without earning that respect.
Well, I disagree with it.
If you join the military, if you join the police, you join the fire brigade, if you, for example, work in an office job, or if you have some sort of manager, they haven't earned it from you. They want that respect from
they've
you.
earned it through the training, through conclusion, reaching there, right? Getting there. The system, the institution gives them a legitimacy to have respect, right? Sometimes if the guy's a douchebag, you still salute the guy because you salute the rank, not the man in some cases, right? That's for anything.
Right, through the organization, yeah, but it's not, he hasn't earned it through you, right? So in this sense, right, I can understand that Amy is a person and that I can respect that they are a person because they've lived their life just like me. And I'm giving them respect because I want them to give me respect. So in the same way that you respect the rank, I respect the person. So please, like whatever you're trying to like bring up with respect here, it doesn't follow anywhere.
I disagree. I'm not going to respect the creature.
Okay, but people aren't creatures, are they? You know, people aren't ants.
Some are. Wait, is a mass murderer not a creature, not a freak? No longer human?
No, they're
so
bad
let's say, for
humans.
example, if you were to say you're respecting the rank, right? If that rank, for example, was a mass murderer, does that person automatically just lose the respect?
Yes.
So then what you're doing there is the complete opposite of what you were saying in the first place.
Dude,
you're not respecting the rank. You're not respecting the rank.
It's not a thing that's permanent. Respect is not permanent. It can be taken at any moment. It can be taken away. Don't you understand that?
So which one is it? Which one is it? Is it respecting the rank or is it respecting the person? Because if you achieve that rank, what you're saying is that they've achieved that, so everything behind them is what you should respect, regardless of what that person is doing or does so in the future.
Don't you understand there's different levels of respect, right? You respect the rank doesn't mean you're specifically respecting the person. But let's say you get to know the person is better than you expected.
Let me ask you once again,
now you have
if
higher
that person is a mass murderer and they are, for example, a colonel, which is above you, or whatever rank you are, then are you supposed to respect the rank or are you supposed to respect the person?
Once you're made aware of that allegation or the facts that are true.
Okay then. So what you're saying to me is you're respecting the person and not the rank.
I said it's dependent on the situation.
So let's say, for example, your manager is disrespectful or your colonel is disrespectful and you think they shouldn't deserve that respect. At what point, right, do they not have that respect any further? Because what you're telling me is that at some point in the future, they could lose that respect. But right at the beginning, what you're telling me is that I should give them unequivocal respect because they've earned that respect through gaining that rank. So which one is it? Please tell me, because you're not being consistent.
It's not in the beginning. So let's say you have a manager, right? Okay, he's your manager. Doesn't mean you have to respect him. You can work with him, right? Whatever. And if you get to like the person and you understand the person's actually decent and has leadership, then yeah, you can respect the person above the title or with the title itself.
So what you're saying here is that in that situation, you're respecting the person and not the rank or not the position that they're in. Is that right?
I said both. There's multiple levels of respect, right? If you get into a job, there's a manager. Doesn't mean you respect the manager. You just simply understand their authority, right? Doesn't mean you have to respect it. You're aware of their authority. Now, if you get to like the manager, you can respect the person.
In this case, what you're saying is that they've automatically got respect, or respect that you should
they
apply
automatically
to them.
have authority because they have a title which gives them authority over you if you're below them.
Okay, that's fine. I agree with your statement there. But what they've done is they've got respect that they haven't earned from you. Would you agree from that?
Yes.
Okay then. Well, thank you.
It's not that. Yeah, it's all I've been saying since the beginning.
Well, can I actually pause? Because I have to deal with people who disagree with me all the time. That's generally the thing with an atheist, is talking with theists. And I don't know if you knew this, but if I went around and called theists mentally ill, other atheists would actually give me shit. They'd be like, no, my mom's a theist. My brother, my wife is a theist. don't you just say they're mentally ill or stupid or etc. etc.? And so I don't know. It almost makes me laugh.
It's called human decency and respect. But obviously, right, this person doesn't have that with other people.
I do. It just depends on the person.
I find it incredibly interesting as an American, because you brought up that I was British, that you are automatically okay with accepting a rank or a position, but you're not okay with respecting another person at default.
What's wrong with that? Well, you're just going to blindly respect people because you expect... What do you expect out of that?
Actually, it does sound like that other guy wants
to
give
they give you respect in return.
Respect.
You can still earn respect without respecting the person.
You can still earn respect without respecting the person. That makes no sense.
Dude, how do you... Again, it's called authority, right? That outdoes respect.
Authority and respect are two different things.
So let's say you're the CEO of a company. Let's say you're the CEO of a company, right?
Yeah.
And you're in a business meeting. You're doing a contract with another company. They don't respect you because they know you're a sleazebag and you're gonna probably try to trick something into that contract that will go against them. However, they respect, or they give awareness to the authority that you have over them. You're a bigger company. You have more shares, more assets. You can buy them out at some point, right? That itself translates into a different form of respect, indirectly. Do you comprehend?
I'm just trying to really kind of like contemplate what you're trying to say here. So just because a company that you don't like has power, you should just respect that, and then that is the same or some sort of different respect that you have for the other people. Is that right?
No,
Is that what you're saying?
There's three categories, right? They all interconnect. They all link together, right? Power, authority, respect. Each one of them.
So I like that you brought that up, because all three of those three are different things, and so far you've tried to define respect.
They influence respect.
Yeah, well, I agree. So many things can affect respect. The color of someone's hair, the way that they speak, what they've gone through in life, etc., etc. This isn't like a definitive thing when it comes to giving somebody respect. You can give someone respect without knowing their power or without knowing their authority. Oh well.
Forgive me, all, but I think we're about to be wrapping up as well. Why is my sound not working? Oh. At the very end, it decides to die. Yes, he did. He did indeed run. All right, I'm switching headsets. I can't deal with this.
Yeah, I'd assume he did run.
Here again. All right, sorry, friend. Looks like he ran. And all right, I think I'm actually going to head out myself. But thank you so much. Yes, that type of rudeness, it's like nails on a chalkboard. Yeah, I mean, it just seems like it destroys a conversation. That's probably what the goal is, as you said, but just shuts everything down. Tries to make it into a scream fest back and forth, and then their mission success. Trying to reshare screen.
Right, and it's a weird thing to be incredibly proud of, that you don't respect others. And in fact, kind of like speaks as like what kind of person you truly are, which is not somebody you really need to interact with.
No, exactly. Almost a filter. We should just remove them from our lives.
Yeah.
But I have to head out. I just want to say, truly, thank you.
No worries. Speak to you again.
I'll see you soon. All right, that was a nice guy. I felt bad leaving him, but I probably should finish up more things for the day. Thank you so much, Blaster Master. Thank you so much, Moon Shoes, Guitar Dog, Darren. What is up, everybody? Mr. Kev Secreto? Hope I'm saying that right. BV, Maya, everybody. Sending so much love. I guess I'll change the title a little bit. I didn't think this was going to go on, and all I had to do was be sassy for like a half sentence or two more, and I guess I drew a theist in. And all right, y'all, let me quick. It's the weekday, so I don't think anyone is live right now. Sending love. I saw Knock rebranded his channel to something still skeptic-ish. So go check his stuff out. Go check out ACA did all their stuff. The Line was on last night. Forrest and Guts at Gibbon were doing an amazing long stream. So go check out all of them. And yeah, this was another fun impromptu debate you. Please, if you enjoy the show, don't forget to like, follow, or subscribe. Sending love to my co-host James W, as well as Taco and everyone else. Boo-doo-doo. Sending love to all the people who send in super chats, our channel membership, and people at Patreon at patreon.com/Amy Newman. Sending love to all of our awesome mods who make this stream so great. And of course, the lovely people in chat and viewers like you. Feel free to join our Discord. The link is in the description. But I think that's going to be it all. We will see you over 8 hours. Oh, really? That's funny. What's up, Regis? See, I didn't even know they had a previous record. That's pretty cool. I'll tell you what our record is. I'm both proud and disappointed in our record. If you all remember, we got challenged by Preacher to do a stream in which he promised us if we watch this one video through, we would become Christians. And we brought Peter, gonna go for it, because he wanted to get on the action. So it was the four of us, and we did an 11-hour stream. I think that's the longest I've ever had to break the record. It was around 15 minutes shy. Oh, they got to go back and do it. That's awesome, though. And they were doing good. I only checked out a little bit of it, but Forrest and Gutsick are some of the best of the Skeptic crew. So go check them out. That is we. I am sending love to my brother with another Mother T jump and everyone else out there. Yeah, I think at this point, I'm just sending love. I probably should have stayed on with that guy a little bit more because he was being so nice. He stood up for me because he had a great point. I really do think it's about general decency. Like the transgender thing, the LGBTQ, all of that stuff was just, we want to be alive and we want to be left alone. When we said pride, it's because pride is the opposite of shame. I thought about this because, you know, a lot of people would be like, oh, pride before the fall and all this. And you go, it's just they're trying to counter that you should be ashamed of who you are. I don't care if it's about being LGBTQ or if you are on the spectrum or have a million different things. We're all unique butterflies, whether you're straight, biological, transgender, extroverted, introverted. We're sending love. We just want to come as you are and be yourself. And you have an ally with us here in the Skeptic and Ranting community. Sending so much love, Ember. Yeah, sending everyone else to her channel as well. You should go check out all the amazing content that she does. Did he make... I love Forrest on the... There's nothing I love more than someone very in tune with the sciences when they give their view on the social issues. I'll tell you why. I watch people like Forrest. I watch people like Neil deGrasse Tyson. These people are great at handling the LGBTQ issue in a way that I did not expect. You know, I feel like Tyson is what gave me the perspective on sports and bathrooms, trying to make it bigger tent instead of trying to make it smaller tent as the solution, which is what I think a lot of reactionaries are trying to push. And Forrest, as a biologist, is just amazing. I've seen him really dismantle some crazy anti-LGBTQ talking points. So I guess I'm going to end this by actually sending some love to all of my straight brothers, sisters, and everything in between, because you guys are what give us, you are allies. You're what help us, allow us to be us. We've changed the culture in a positive way, I would say. I know they think that we're going in a direction that is the downfall of destruction of the society. But no, we just want to get married and be as boring as everyone else. La-da-da. All right. I've done my obligatory Soros LGBTQ push for the day. Ooh, I'm going to link whatever Ember had going on there. There we go. All right. With that, everyone, we have been having an impromptu debate. I will probably change the title a little bit, and with my co-host James W. and I, we just all hope you have an awesome next adventure. Wait, wow, I messed that up. We will see you all on the next adventure of Skeptic Ball Z. There we go. Good night, everyone. Mwah, ha, ha, ha. Mwah.